Was it a good look for Russell Wilson to do the I Am Athlete podcast? We'll get into that. Plus, Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets are on a 3-game winning streak. And it took Jokic how many less games than LeBron James to get 139 triple doubles? We'll get into it. Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for February 26th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel V. Hill.
Russell Wilson is being talked about a lot after doing the I Am Athlete podcast with former Broncos wide receiver Brandon Marshall. He spoke out about the NFLPA situation, his relationship with Pete Carroll, the lat injury last year, and Cortland Sutton. We're going to get into a ton of the conversation because there's a lot to dive into. It was an hour and 30 long minute podcast episode, but essentially Wilson comes down to say, I hope it's in Denver. I hope I get to finish there. I committed there. I wanted to be there. For me, it's about winning over the next 5 years. I want to win too. I want to feel the chill of the trophy again. There's plenty to dive into when it comes into Russell Wilson and his relationship. But for me, honestly, I think that this was Russell Wilson's way of saying, this is my side of the story, and I already know what the future is going to hold. Because let's be honest, Sean Payton made it very clear that he didn't want Russ doing any of that presidential campaign stuff like he mentioned early on when Sean Payton became the head coach. So Russell Wilson, it seems like to me, already knows that the Broncos are going to be moving on from him and that he could do this open and freeingly. And I love also that he talks about his house being on sale. There was a ton of stuff to get into. And like I said, we will dive really deep into it because I feel like a lot of people have mixed feelings on if it was a good or bad look for Russell Wilson. So plenty to come on that front. There's also plenty of coverage to come to denversports.com as the NFL Combine starts this week. I'm really excited for this, especially because, one, the Broncos are targeting quarterback, obviously, and we're going to see those quarterbacks come Saturday. But Cecil and Andrew Mason are on their way to Indianapolis to bring us a ton of coverage. They will be on Coffee Break later this week to talk to us about everything happening out there. And I heard a little birdie tell me that Sean Payton is holding a media dinner tonight. So it's going to be a little interesting to see for sure. We do have a schedule of all of the stuff that's going to be happening down there at the Combine. Like you can see, defensive linemen, linebackers on Thursday, defensive backs and tight ends on Friday, quarterbacks, like I mentioned, wide receivers and running backs on Saturday. That's when everybody's going to be paying attention. And then on Sunday, you can find out for offensive linemen and see them out there. The NFL announced a record $255.4 million salary cap for the 2024 season, an increase of $30.6 million from last year. The year-over-year bump is the most in NFL history, surpassing the $25.7 million increase from 2021 to 2022. The Broncos, however, are still over the cap. Their top 51 cap figure of $257.9 million places them over the limit. Now, of course, that number does help a little bit with the Broncos probably releasing Russell Wilson. So I'm looking at it as, okay, hey, it's not $80 million. It's going to be like $30 million, essentially. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Does it help them a ton? Absolutely not. But of course, we'll just have to see how it all works out. And they can transform signing bonuses and all sorts of stuff to make it figure out the cap. So not too worried about it. But of course, releasing Russell Wilson does not help at all. Now, the Denver Nuggets. You guys, All-Star break, going into it, it was a bit of a struggle. But coming out of it, they have their eyes on the playoffs. They win 3 straight, and they got the win 119-103 over the Golden State Warriors. It feels like the tides have turned. Do we all remember when anytime the Warriors would come into town or the Nuggets would head out to the Bay Area and it was like, oh, it's the Warriors on the schedule? Feels like all the tides have turned. Jamal Murray returned back to the place where he obviously got hurt. I'm not sure how long we'll actually talk about this, but it always feels to be just really significant. And I know Jamal always is like, nope, I don't really think about it. It is what it is, whatever we can do. But I feel like it's just always going to be those one things where the Nuggets were this close and then Jamal goes down, unfortunately. Nikola Jokic versus Draymond Green. You guys, this is absolutely insane when you look at the stats. Of course, Jokic gets a triple-double. Draymond felt like he was doing absolutely nothing. But what really impressed me was Jokic was plus 20 when he was on the court. Draymond was negative 23 when he was on the court. I'm like, for somebody that we all used to be like such a good basketball player, despite the drama that comes with Draymond, to have him be negative 23 just shows really what Nikola Jokic and this Denver Nuggets team is able to do. Plus, Nikola Jokic's triple-double has him now at 139, which passes LeBron James and moves him into 4th all-time. The crazy thing is he did it in 1,034 less games than it took LeBron. That is just an insane number. 1,034 less games than it took LeBron. And we talk about LeBron being one of the greatest players of all time. Whether you want to go with LeBron or MJ, the fact that it took Nikola Jokic that many less games is just absolutely insane. And then Nikola Jokic calls out his teammates on national television after no one got him a birthday gift. Take a listen.
Your birthday was last week. These guys get you anything?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bad teammates. Bad teammates.
Terrible teammates.
Terrible teammates.
Oh, man, he is just so much freaking fun. I love Nikola Jokic. I love that he picks on his teammates. I think he's always a blast. The Colorado Avalanche. I feel like I do this every single week, at least at some point in the season. I'm just like, come on, they have to start figuring these things out. They fall to the Maple Leafs on Saturday. They were up early. Things were looking good. And then Tyler Bertuzzi gets a hat trick on his birthday. The Avs obviously go on to lose 4-3. March 8th is the trade deadline. There has to be some moves that are made because this team does not have enough. It's clear they're missing Val Nichushkin. It is very, very clear they are missing him. But man, besides Mikko, McKinnon, Makar, Devontae's, like, you have to start looking at possibly making some moves. And I'm going to be really fascinated to see what the front office does and if they do make any big moves. But we've talked about this time and time again. The window for the Colorado Avalanche is small and it is shrinking time and time again. Day after day, it is shrinking. They have to be able to figure it out. Now, despite the loss on Saturday, they had the 25th annual Colorado Avalanche charity brunch. The Avs' wives and girlfriends put on this special event, and the players get to work as servers. And then they also have a fashion show where each player gets to walk with a kid who has overcome medical challenges. You can see some of the pictures right here. It is so cute. I love how they all have their little aprons, and you can see them obviously serving food. This is wonderful. And I love that the wives and the girlfriends, fiancés, whoever it is, gets to be involved in it as well. So really cool always for the Avs to be able to put this on. And, despite coming off of a loss, you can still see a bunch of smiles on all of their faces because they know what they're doing for the community. Nikita Kucherov. He had a goal and 3 assists and became the first player in the league to reach 100 points this season in leading the Tampa Bay Lightning to a 4-1 victory over the New Jersey Devils on Sunday. Now, you might be like, Rachel, why is this so important? Well, 100 points is pretty cool in a season, let's be honest. But Kucherov is just above Nathan MacKinnon, and it seems like this could be a major conversation when it comes to how Nathan MacKinnon's going to be looked at this season. Let's just be honest and call it what it is. Kucherov leads the NHL with 102 points. He just reached that 100 points in just 59 games, and it's the fewest to do so in Lightning history. So something to pay attention to. Those two names are going to be going at it until the end of the season and possibly into the playoffs. Who knows what that's going to look like? But just keep paying attention to that because we know Nathan MacKinnon always likes to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and be able to go after things. So hopefully that means that Nathan MacKinnon is next to hit that 100 points. If you're a Colorado Rapids fan, well, you thought maybe with a new head coach, things were going to start to look a little bit better. Well, they fell on the road to the Portland Timbers in their first match of the 2024 season. 3 Rapid players made their MLS debut. Keegan Rosenberry wore the captain's armband for the first time since being appointed team captain this offseason. And head coach Chris Armaz made his official debut as the Rapids head coach. One last one, Oliver Lazar made his first MLS start and recorded 60 minutes. So that's pretty good. Now, speaking of 60 minutes, how about $60 million? That's how much LeBron James wants. Brian Windhorst of ESPN claims that King James is looking for a deal that will feature multiple years and be worth more than 9 figures. He explains, I don't think that this is LeBron's last stand. I don't think this is the Lakers' last stand. First off, I think LeBron is angling to sign a multi-year deal in the offseason that with the Lakers that will be 9 figures. That will be even bigger than the deal he has now. All I can think about is LeBron James wanting $60 million and Dak Prescott wanting $60 million. And it's just crazy that here we are. And basketball contracts are always insane. $60 million. Would the Lakers be willing to give that to LeBron James on a 3-year contract when he's 42 years old? I don't know if they'll do it, but man, does that just seem a little crazy. And if you were on social media at all come Friday night, well, then you probably saw a massive fight that broke out between the Miami Heat and the New Orleans Pelicans. 5 players have been suspended without pay following that fight. Heat forward Jimmy Butler and Pelicans forward Najee Marshall both received a 1-game suspension for instigating and engaging in the fight. And then also Nikola Jokic was suspended for 1 game because he left the bench to join the fight. And then 2 more, Pelicans guard Jose Alvarado and Heat center Thomas Bryant, we all remember Thomas Bryant, each received a 3-game suspension for leaving the bench after fighting each other. So, wow, it was like all over social media. It was multiple fights, it felt like. Absolutely crazy. But yes, you will see a few players not playing in upcoming games because of those suspensions. Last one for you guys here on this Monday. Former Commanders and Chiefs OC Eric Bieniemy is headed to UCLA. He'll join a new head coach, Deshaun Foster, as the associate head coach / offensive coordinator. Bieniemy won 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs before leaving to join the Commanders last season. He was then let go after the team fired head coach Ron Rivera. Will he ever return to the NFL? There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of talk about Coach Bieniemy, but will he ever return to the NFL? It'll be a good question for sure. So plenty of good stuff on this Monday. As always, I love having these conversations with you guys in the comments. Lawrence, let me know. That's so crazy. Which part of this show are you talking about? That's so crazy. Mel says, Nathan McKinnon deserves the heart. Let's see. Oh, there he goes. Nathan McKinnon deserves the heart. He totally outplayed Austin Matthews on Saturday night, and he had a 3-on-3-point night. Nathan McKinnon is 100% deserving of the heart. It's going to be fascinating to see how the rest of the NHL looks at Nathan McKinnon and what he's able to do. Unfortunately, and this is not a fault in Nathan McKinnon at all, because he has literally put the team on his back. But if people aren't looking at the Avalanche as the star-powered team that they are, that can hurt Nathan McKinnon just a little bit if they're not able to produce those wins. So it's unfortunately the truth. It will be interesting to see what the rest of the NHL does and looks at. LeBron wanting $60 million. I agree. That is absolutely crazy. I can't believe it. But honestly, LeBron at 42 years old, $60 million, I'm like, whatever compared to Dak Prescott. That's just my personal opinion, and I will leave it at that. All right, everybody. We're going to be talking a ton about the I Am Athlete podcast. Russell Wilson, was it a good or a bad look for him? Was it his goodbye to Broncos country, essentially? Make sure you come hang out with us at 12 p.m. for coffee break, and then we'll be back here 10 a.m. for another episode of Denver Sports Daily. Have a wonderful Monday, everybody. Get back to work. Bye.